What's up, Rainbow Peeps and friends? It's your girl, Verde Arzu, pronouns she, her. And welcome to Verde's Folding Chair, a podcast about making space at the table for Black women, independent writers, marginalized people, and our allies. Verde's Folding Chair is about making space for our voices, existence, and lived experiences. Zora Neale Hurston said, if you're silent about your pain, they'll kill you and say you enjoyed it. This podcast is the opposite of being silent. Come on and bring your folding chairs and pull up at the table. I promise to make space for you, Rainbow Peeps and friends. Y'all already know what time it is. The first segment of Verde's Folding Chair will forever and always be dedicated to the Black woman. Why? The most disrespected person in America is the Black woman. The most unprotected person in America is the Black woman. The most neglected person in America is the Black woman. Malcolm X. Black women are a reflection of God. Black women are beautiful. Black women are talented. Black women are creative. Black women are determined. Black women are powerful and dangerous. And Black women deserve better. Today on Verde's Folding Chair, the Black woman that I am lifting up is me. Hey, y'all. I'm lifting up my damn self today, y'all. I am so excited because Promise Keeper, yay, turns 1 year old today. And I'm super excited to celebrate with y'all and to drop this little mini podcast app for y'all to just acknowledge the 1 year bookiversary for Promise Keeper and to share my growth as an indie artist, as a Black queer indie artist. Today I just wanted to be a little open and candid with y'all about my experiences in this past year of slinging them books. If you follow me, you know that is one of my mottos, slang them books. You know what I mean? I'm an indie artist, which means that I'm independent of any major publishing companies. I have my own publishing company. It's called Rainbow Editions, LLC, Relic, and I promote my own work. I invest in my own work. I spend my own money to publish my work. I advertise. I distribute. I do it all. And I have a very small team that supports me in that, being my wife, Carmen Nicole Cox. Shout out to you, babe. And of course, I have a very loyal and supportive community of people who help to promote and put my book into the world. And a shout out to all my Rainbow Peeps and friends. I appreciate y'all so much for just continuing to support me, continuing to read my work, continuing to share, like, comment, subscribe, all those things. All those things help to get my work out into the world, into the hands of readers, which is something that's definitely a part of my goal, right? A special shout out to my girl Frances Mosley, who has been in my corner since Rainbow published, read it, bought some swag, shared my work, all of that. My rider, Margaret Houston, who continues to be in my corner as well. And just continues to support me, love me, speak life into me. I appreciate y'all so much. And of course, a special shout out to my wife, who is a part of the Relic family, who invests in me financially, of course, and just continues to support the vision and the dream that I have for myself. And I just want to send a special shout out to my wife for being my number one fan, top supporter, investor, always got my back, believing in the vision, believing in my dreams, and continuing to stay on this journey with me and continuing to help me manifest it into the world. Your support, your love, and your dedication to helping me make my dreams come true definitely keeps me going and is fuel, especially on days when it's tough and, I want more, and it's not always turning out the way that I would like it to turn out, the way that I would like it to look. You're one of the people who have remained in my corner And I appreciate you and I love you. And a special shout out to, I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for my mama. And I just love you. Thank you for making me the writer that I am today. If you've been following me for a while, you know that it's my mom who put the pen in my hand, taught me how to write, and I've been writing ever since. And it is this beautiful woman, her beautiful giving soul, and her just relentless sacrifices that she makes for her children. Honestly, y'all, it's amazing, this woman, and her love, and her love for her children. It's a beautiful God manifestation on earth. And she is the one who invested and Promise Keeper being available today on audio. Wherever you listen to your audiobooks, you can now click that button, use that credit, and purchase Promise Keeper, which was narrated by Arissa Evans. And I'm so honored. I am so excited to finally get Promise Keeper out into the world. That is a whole conversation and podcast episode all on its own, on the journey of trying to get Promise Keeper published in the audio form. So I'm super excited, and I'm looking forward to your reviews and your feedback and your continued support with the audiobook for Promise Keeper. All right, and today I just wanted to take a few moments to just kind of do a year in review for my damn self, because thinking about it, just looking back at the pictures and the videos that I have in my phone about the year that I've had with Promise Keeper, I was determined. With my first book, I learned a lot. I learned a lot, and I wanted to show that I learned a lot. I wanted to get Promise Keeper into as many hands and into as many bookstores as I could possibly get it into. So I was out there hustling. And when I set my mind to something, I become determined, and nothing can stop me, honestly. And so, I didn't say no to nothing, y'all. Really, I didn't say no to any opportunity that presented itself. I said yes to it. I took advantage of it because I had a goal. I had a vision, and I would like to believe, just looking back at the photos and everything, I'm going to say I achieved my goal. I achieved my goal, and I'm proud of myself, and I'm excited to celebrate today. I'm excited to talk to y'all. I'm excited to get this podcast episode out there. So let's get into it. So I'm going to start off by saying, I started off with a well-attended book launch of Promise Keeper at the first bookstore that ever put my book on its shelf, and that's A Seat at the Table Books, located in Elk Grove, California. Shout out to y'all for always continuing to support me. Actually, Rainbow and Promise Keeper are on the shelves at A Seat at the Table. The book launch was, I was on a high. I swear, like, my village came out and supported me. My community bought my books, and then, just loved on me and just showed me that they believed in me and they cared about my artistry and the work. And it was just beautiful. It was a dream come true, really. Really, it was a dream come true. And I was nervous. I was a wreck. I was late. But the community, the village was there. And it was a special day, and it's definitely one that I will certainly remember for sure. But I was out there, so that kicked it off. And before that, though, I was at the Bay Area Book Festival in Berkeley, and I went to the Bay Area Book Festival. I didn't even know that Sacramento had a book festival at the time. It was exciting for me because I'd never gotten into the Bay Area Book Festival, and I got in. I was just super excited because it was going to be the pre-launch of Promise Keeper. I get there. I'm not in the most desired spot that I wanted to be in, so I was a little disappointed. Of course, my partner in crime, my best friend, my love, she, spoke life into me as she normally does, things that y'all don't always get to see. It's difficult being an independent artist. It's probably even 10 times difficult being a Black independent artist, and not necessarily always being taken seriously, right? And not always being treated with a high level of professionalism, even though you put in the work, you put in the time, you put in the energy and the effort, and you get out there, and then, people don't always treat you like, you're somebody, right? Which is why one of my posts one day was basically like, treat everybody like they're a big name, because you never really know what somebody's going to ultimately end up becoming, right? Even you might look at them today and be like, oh, you're just Verde Arzu. Like, who are you? Don't nobody really know you. And next thing you know, I'm sitting in front of Oprah and I'm on TV and I'm a New York Times best-selling author. From my lips to God's ears. Let's go. Point is, I was not in the most desired location for the event. It was the pre-launch. Some amazing things happened though. I met Kat Trinidad. She was a podcaster, beautiful woman, beautiful soul, beautiful spirit. She comes up to me, she's talking to me, she's excited about my books. She even buys the books. And then she offers me an opportunity to come on her podcast, Books in Vogue. And it's just like moments like these that continue to remind me that I am on my path and I am doing what I was created here on earth to do. I'm fulfilling my purpose. Like when things look like they're not going the best, some amazing, wonderful opportunity happens that say, no, 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 no. It may not be the way you thought it was supposed to be, but there's still success and seeds of growth and opportunity right here in this moment. And it's moments like that that have continued to help me with my mindset, remember what it is that I'm here to do and not always looking at it like it's not what I envisioned it to be. You know what I mean? It's like, if all the ducks aren't lined up in the row the way you want it to be, then you don't necessarily see the success in it. So that's something that I'm continuing to work on with myself. So I met Kat Trinidad. I went on her podcast, and that was an amazing opportunity. And Books in Vogue, go and listen to that podcast. Check her out. She interviews our authors. She reads some of the work. She reads it with you. Beautiful experience. Then she asks questions about the book. And it's a great way to learn about new authors, learn about the books that you may be interested in, or somebody who might be interested in them. I did Sac Pride. I did Elk Grove Pride. I did Folsom Pride. I did Oak Park's Juneteenth event. And this was all in the summertime. Any opportunity that I saw, I jumped on it. I traveled to Cleveland. My wife's niece graduated from high school. Shout out Davi, and was on her way off to college. Yeah. And I learned about a Black independent bookstore there called Third Space Reading Room. Very welcoming, safe space, beautiful people. And they allowed me an opportunity to get my book on the shelf. I was stunned, y'all, because I'm just used to having to hustle and convince bookstores to allow me space on the shelf, but not at Third Space Reading Room. They have a whole program designed for indie artists and Black indie artists such as myself. And I went in there, I talked to them, I met Zakiya, and very helpful, and just, again, another blessing. Then later in the year, I was able to do a virtual author talk with Third Space Reading Room. And hopefully one day here in the near future, I'll be able to come in and sit down and do an in-person author talk. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. That's how this past year has felt. Because I was out here hustling to get into every bookstore that I could possibly get in. Didn't necessarily find success that first go around, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop trying to get into those bookstores. So y'all will be hearing from me again. And the goal is just to build up my readership, to build my brand, to get my book into the hands of readers. And through this process, there are so many rejections, y'all. There's so many rejections that sometimes it hurts. It hurts my feelings. It makes me doubt myself. And that's where the people in my community and my village, when I talk to them and I really open up about my feelings and my experiences, they really pour into me. And they lift me up, and then I get my cup filled up, and then I get right back out there. And that's one thing I would say to any indie author out there. You need folks around you who gonna be in your corner, who gonna support you, and who gonna uplift you. Because it's not always going to be sunny days. You know what I mean? Some of the other things that I did that were a little unconventional. When I traveled through airports, because, sometimes I had to travel to go see family or to go handle some business. I stopped in the bookstores and the airports. I talked to the customer service reps, and I tried to get my book on the shelf. Sometimes I left my book on the shelf. Because I saw Dawn Staley do it, because last summer, I believe, her book came out, and she posted that she was in the airport, and she went to a bookstore and she signed her book, and then she left it on the shelf. And I was like, that is a great idea. I'm going to do that. So when I was traveling through, I would try to convince customer reps, hey, talk to the owner. Can I get my book on the shelf? And or sometimes I just left my book on the shelf. You know what I mean? I was just like, listen, slanging these books, slanging these books. And in between all that, I'm social media posting, 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 because that's a huge part of it, right? We live in the social media world. We live in the social media era. And I have to take advantage of that by trying to build my brand that way. And what you all see, those social media posts, sometimes it takes more than an hour to get the post out. And it'd be a simple post too, or video, or, even in my mind, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go on and create this post, and then it turns out taking quite a bit of time. So, and if you care about your craft, if you care about your brand, if you care about what it looks like and what you're putting out, which many artists do, we're not just out here trying to represent ourselves in any old kind of way, right? So it takes time and energy and effort. So everything you see, that's time, that's energy, that's effort, that's money. So yeah, it was quite the learning experience in 2025, 2026, the launching of Promise Keeper. And I continue to hustle to get my book into Black bookstores in my own city. For example, Underground Books. They were supportive in putting a rainbow on the shelf. So I went there to get Promise Keeper put on the shelf, and they absolutely supported me in doing that. And then I had an author talk event there at the end of June of last summer for Pride Month. And that wasn't as successful as I would have liked it to have been, right? Because I was thinking that, at least 10 people was going to be in the space. But it ended up being about 3 people. And like one of them was was my wife, because she always got my back. But even in that moment of disappointment, because I was certainly disappointed, but I was still trying to speak life and speak that hope, and continue to remember what my dream is, and telling myself that, hey, you remember these moments like this, because if you continue on your path, that eventually these rooms are going to be jam-packed, and moments like this will be moments that you will have cherished. So I'm saying all this to myself, but on the outside, I'm having a battle with myself. And if you are an artist of any kind, whether you indie or not, you probably can't relate to that, right? And I had my girl, a shout out to Mariah, future published author Mariah, who will be dropping her first romance novel here soon. She was the MC for my event, so she's interviewing me, and I'm feeling a little embarrassed about that, and but even in that moment, a customer came into the store, not for my author talk, but just to come into the store buying books just in the neighborhood or whatever, I guess. And she sat down and started listening to my author talk, because I'm presenting my author talk as if I'm talking to a room full of people, even though it was just a couple people there. Turns out she was like one of my target readers, right? She was like, this book, it seems like it's my story. I'm definitely getting a copy. It was just a beautiful experience. It lifted me up. And that was just one customer, right? That was just one customer. And I met a beautiful woman who purchased my book. And just like recently, I was at a teacher's event, and I ran into this woman. We were at a Black teacher celebration event, and I ran into her. I was like, my goodness, you look familiar. Turns out she was like, yeah, I met you at Underground Books. I bought your book. And even that, it's like, just like all these opportunities and experiences of being in community with people is also a part of why I do what I do, because it's more than just the selling of the book. It's about connecting with people and finding opportunities to just live my dream, honestly. Also, having people in your corner is so important. Making sure there's people in your corner who believe in you and who are pouring into you and who are constantly trying to lift you up and showing you and finding ways, right? Of just being supportive and being loving and being caring. It ain't got nothing to do with buying your stuff or nothing like that. And shout out to Margaret and Cecil, who plugged me and put me in contact with Courtney Dempsey of CBS 13's Good Day Sacramento. And I was able to go on TV, y'all, and promote my my book, promote my event at the Underground Bookstore. And I actually met a woman who learned about the book event, one of the 3 people in the room, right? Whatever, y'all. Who learned about the author talk at Underground Books, who came out to get one of the free copies of Promise Keeper. And she had an opportunity to talk to me about her child, and even that, just that connection and her just trying to get community support to understand the journey that her child is on with being within the queer community. I get to talk to people about that all the time, and it's a blessing, and I don't take it for granted. So, like I said, I was on TV. Come on, somebody. Okay. All right, y'all. I was out there. I was at local author fairs. I was pretty much at every event I was able and available to be at to attend. I said yes to it. A seat at the table, I was there. A seat at the table, a seat at the table. I mean, I was there multiple times, just trying to meet new people, stay in the community with local authors and indie authors who are already out here doing the same things that I'm currently doing, and just building up those relationships. I was doing author talks and readings, like at the Lavender Library. I was at the Banana Festival. I did silent reading parties. I did Tri-County Diversity Pride for Yuba City. Shout out to y'all. And I had the honor and privilege of doing a virtual author talk and reading at my alma mater, Fisk University, who this is, I consider Promise Keeper a love letter to Fisk University. And so, and if you've read Promise Keeper, you know the queer organization in the book, All Colors United. And at the time when I was at Fisk, there was absolutely no queer student organizations at all. So to learn about Fisk having a queer organization on their campus, I just was like, oh man, I have to try to get in contact with these students and try to make a connection and do a reading and an author talk with them. And of course, they were so gracious. They provided me with the opportunity to Zoom on in. And it was a beautiful experience. And shout out to Chloe, the outgoing president of Out Loud, for communicating with me and connecting with me. And cheers to you on graduating, and many blessings on your future journeys. I was able to host a table at my school where I teach and talk to middle schoolers about being a published author and what it takes to write a book, and answer some of their questions, and just being in community with them, and being able to speak and get to know them from a different perspective. That was a beautiful opportunity as well. Shout out to our library, Ms. Missile, for hosting that and providing me space to be able to talk to our young, future up and coming authors out there. What a blessing, y'all. I did book mixers where we sip and we talk books, and we talk about the indie author life, and we talk about writing, and we talk about so many other things as well. I would also like to say that is absolutely critical and important to have a network and be in community with other writers. If you are a writer, if you are a published writer, that helps. It keeps you going, it keeps you motivated, lets you know that you're not out here alone. And then I ended the year very strong, y'all. I ended it doing more vending, right? I did Saks LGBT Centers Holiday Makers Market. I did Queer in the Holidays at Lavender Library. And before doing and in between all of that, I lived, y'all. So don't just think I was just out here slanging these books. I celebrated my wife, who got Attorney of the Year honors from both of her city and state bar associations. We traveled to Europe, we went to Paris, went to Italy. I ran for my local union's board and won twice. I turned 45. I celebrated with amazing people, even though the Bears didn't win against the Niners. Whatevs. We definitely celebrated and had a great time anyway. I was nominated ABC 10 Teacher of the Month for December, and this was all before 2025. Ended, y'all. Now here I am, 1 year later. I am feeling overwhelmed with gratitude and just awe at the fact that, look at everything I just said. I'm just like living my dreams. I'm just a little kid from Chicago, from the west side until I was 12. And then moving on over to the south side from 12 onward, middle school and high school. And sometimes I can't believe that I'm actually building this life, the life that I dreamed of having. It's not perfect, and it's not filled with all sunny days, keeping the clouds away. No, but it is a manifestation of my dreams. So once again, I just want to thank you, Rainbow Peeps and Friends, for being on this journey with me. It is your support, it's your love, it's your sharing, it's your liking, it's your commenting, it's your purchasing it, and just being a part of my community and village. That affirms me as an independent author. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope that you will continue on this journey with me. You'll continue to read my work and share my stories with folks. And I hope to continue to make you proud and continue to make you want to read my stories. Yay, y'all get to pop some bottles with me. Love you all, and cheers to many more blogs, podcast seasons, vendor tabling events, author talks, and book signings for years to come. Cheers. Thanks for joining me this week on Verde's Folding Chair. To stay connected with your girl, join me on IG at the_writer_Verde_Arzu. I'm on Blue Sky at verdearzu.bsky.social and Facebook at The Writer Verde Arzu. I'm also on LinkedIn at Verde Arzu and Threads with the same social handle as IG. You can also find a copy of my books, Rainbow, a Black queer novella, and Promise Keeper, a Black queer novel, on my website, verdearzu.com. There are links for you to support my work by purchasing them from indie bookstores. Some of the ones I just named today on the podcast episode: Underground Books, A Seat at the Table, Third Space Reading Room, Capital Books on K Street, and Lavender Library, where you don't even have to purchase it. All you have to do is check it out. And of course, y'all, Promise Keeper is now available on audiobooks, so make sure you support your girl, okay? Subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you can watch this podcast episode at The Writer Verde Arzu. I am out here, y'all, as you can tell, just based on this recap of this anniversary episode for Promise Keeper. I am out here. I am an indie artist, and I need your continued support, as you already know. So if you like what you heard and you want to hear more, be sure to write a quick comment, like the post, share this episode with your friends and fam. Spread the word and subscribe so you don't miss the next epi. And remember, any of these options are free and take up so little of your time, but means the world to me as a Black indie artist. I appreciate you, Rainbow peeps and friends. And remember, if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. Peace, love, and rainbow. Thanks for listening.